Hello guys, Izanagi here, and today I wanted to do a video review on a game I've been playing recently, Trails in the Sky First Chapter. Now, this is the first Trails game I have played so far in the series. There are many Trails games, and chronologically this is the first one, so I hopped in with this one. So, what is Trails? It's a long-running JRPG with like an interconnected storyline. So, unlike Final Fantasy, you know how like each game is kind of like set in its like own world and universe. And sometimes they have sequels, you know, like Final Fantasy X-2 and the 13 trilogy. This game pretty much all the games are set in the same world. However, what differentiates them is, for example, this is the Sky series. So there's the first part, second part, and third part, and then there's Cold Steel. So there's different games with different trilogies, but they all take part in the same world. However, all the characters are different and the storylines are different. However, correct me if I'm wrong, eventually all the characters and the storylines like align up together. From what I've been told anyways. Since this is the first Trails game I played, but that's what I've heard. So yeah, I've only played this game and I'm already addicted to it. I can't wait to play the second game, which hopefully is coming out next year. I've heard rumors potentially it's coming out next year, which would be really good because damn, beating the first part really leaves you on a cliffhanger and it punches you in the goddamn gut. Oof. So what I like about Trails is that it's more of a slow burn compared to Final Fantasy. Like most Final Fantasy games, you know, the storyline kind of ramps up fairly quick. It usually involves saving the world, fighting against an evil god, etc, etc. The best way to enjoy Trails, I feel, is to treat the game like a marathon, not a sprint. So it's kind of like a slow burn. Don't expect any like crazy stakes like, oh, you know, it's like Final Fantasy, like saving the world or fighting God. It's a lot more kind of laid back. It definitely has like stakes when you get to the end of the game, but you got actually the best analogy I'd say is treat it like One Piece. One Piece is very slow to start off with. It's a slow burn, but once you get into One Piece, it's really good. So maybe that is the best analogy I could think of in comparison. It's like it's basically One Piece, especially with like how all the games connect to one another, and it creates this like grand big story. And it obviously, you know, it sets up the world, the lore, and the characters very well in the first game, so far from what I've seen. So, the characters. So this game has, I would say, two main protagonists. Estelle Bright and Joshua Bright. So, one day, Estelle's father finds a wounded boy on the battlefield and adopts him. This being Joshua Bright. So they're essentially adopted siblings that live together for about 5 years until the main events of the game, when they're 16 and they start to do training to become full-time bracers. Now, what bracers are is they essentially go around traveling the country, helping people, doing odd jobs, slaying monsters. So think of them as like mercenaries in a way, but kinda less cutthroat. Maybe Wandering Adventures would be a better description. So starting off with Estelle. Honestly, in my opinion, Estelle is just too adorable, and she is one of my favourite characters in the game. She is headstrong and plucky, but has a big heart. Sometimes she rushes in without thinking and can be a bit of a derp. That's why she melds so well with her adopted brother Joshua, and they have like a great chemistry all throughout the game. So Joshua, compared to Estelle, he is a lot more calm, cool, collected, and reserved. He does his best to keep Estelle calm and in line from doing anything like reckless or stupid. And he's pretty tactical. He's got a pretty good like tactical mind. Like Estelle, he has a big heart, but he certainly doesn't wear his heart on his sleeve. And he keeps his emotions in check, for better or worse. Estelle's weapon of choice is actually this giant-ass staff. Kind of reminds me of the staff that Kid Goku's use in Dragon Ball. Whilst Joshua uses dual blades, which I think fits his like kind of like calm, cool, collected personality quite a bit. So Estelle and Joshua are the main stars of this game, and like I said before, they have great chemistry together. Honestly, out of all the JRPGs I played, I think Estelle's and Joshua's like relationship and their chemistry, it's like second to none. It's really, really good. You obviously meet many numerous other characters throughout the game. Not to give too many spoilers. Whenever you go to like a new region, you're gonna recruit new characters. So there's always gonna be like new playable characters to play as. So it never gets boring in terms of that. There's plenty of characters to choose from. So the combat it's primarily turn-based-ish with like an action bar. So it depends on your character's speed and the enemy's speed on like who goes first and who goes last. The faster you are, you go first. The enemy's faster, the enemy goes before you. So it's in the overworld, you can kind of like attack the enemy before you trigger the main battle. Going into this is good because it allows you to weaken the enemy, like stun them, then you go into the turn-based combat. Now you can just kill the enemies in the overworld like action combat, but it'll take longer to do it. But it's not impossible. So I do like the kind of like dual mix of like turn-based and action combat. It's kind of like FF7 Remake, but not really, if that makes any sense, if anyone's played both games. So the music in here, like most RPGs, the OST is great. It's really fantastic. They do not fail to deliver. The battle theme is quite jazzy and catchy. It's really, really good. I enjoy that one. You do need the battle theme, the main battle theme of a JRPG to be good. I definitely like the battle theme in this one. I also like the song that Joshua plays on his harmonica. I forgot what the specific name is, but it plays during the end of the game. And if you've beaten the game, obviously, no spoilers if you haven't, but that scene at the end, it's a real punch in the gut, and I've got to wait like maybe another year or two to play the sequel. I'm gonna remain strong and wait for part 2 and play the remake, because I could theoretically just buy the part 2 for the old version, but it's like I've already played the remake now, so I'll wait for the part 2 of the remake. I have to remain firm and strong, right? Overall, I would say this is a great game. If you are a fan of RPGs like me, I'd recommend it. And for someone like me, if you've heard of the Trails series, but you've been kind of like, I don't really want to jump into it because there's all these games, and you need to play this game first and that game first, and like there's loads of like characters that make cameos, but if you haven't played this game, you wouldn't understand the cameos of the characters because you wouldn't play the previous game. It's all kind of confusing, but with this game, Trails in the Sky first chapter, this is, correct me if I'm wrong, chronologically, this is the first game in the series, so this is the best game to start off on. Not only in terms of like the timeline, but also the quality of the game. Like, just look, the game looks amazing, in my opinion. It's very like anime lifelike. And it doesn't, and if you're playing it on PC, you don't need like a crazy rig to run this too. It's like, you can run this on a fairly old system. It's also out for PS4, PS5, and I believe the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. Overall, I just really, really, really love this game. And the only downside I'd say, and this is more so to do with the pricing and not so the quality of the game itself, is that on Steam anyways, and I'm sure on other like digital storefronts, the regional pricing is kind of messed up. So you got people in different countries almost paying double what you would pay in the UK or the US and other European countries. So I hopefully when they release part 2, they can fix that regional pricing so more people can, actually give the game a try and experience this series, because this is a very like niche series, JRPG series, and we played this first game and I am hooked. I can't wait to play the sequel, and hopefully once I finished all the Sky parts, I can move on to other stuff. I did play a bit of Cold Steel. I think I got like 2 hours into it, but I was like, maybe I shouldn't play this because this is like the 10th game in the series, and there's going to be cameos from other characters, and I won't get references. Which I guess technically you don't need to do that, right? But you want to get the the fullest experience, then you should. So I kind of played a couple hours of Steel, and I was like, actually, never mind. I'm gonna wait until this Sky remake comes out. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to the second game coming out. Please, please, please come out soon. Part 2 at the next year, at the end of next year, latest. Please, please, not 2027, not 2028, sometime in 2026. So yeah, that's my opinion on the game. Great. If I were to give it a rating, I give it like a solid 8.5. It's fantastic. And that's it. So if you would like to discuss, the game, leave a comment in the comment section. And that's pretty much it. I will see you guys later. Peace out.